Hey, what is up, my fellow golf ball addicts? We are continuing on the beginning of our award season with some more top 10s, top 5s. This is one that a lot of you have really been requesting. When I went to the short I did and looked at all the requests that came in, it seemed like every other one was accuracy, fairway finders, balls for hitting the fairway, whatever. And yeah, I can understand. A lot of you want accuracy. A lot of you want consistency. So what I did was I went through the data this year, everything I have, and basically kind of went back and looked at all the dispersion charts and everything, made sure they were good. And today I have 15 golf balls for you. Keep in mind, 110 golf balls tested this year, more every day. I'm doing like 2 or 3 a day, trying to get as many as possible. I'd love to get to 150 by the end of the calendar year, but we'll see. So with all those golf balls in the pool, these are the 15 that I gave a perfect score to when it came to accuracy. So they're not going to be in any particular order because, let's be honest, accuracy can kind of be debated a little bit. Like if I look at a dispersion chart and you look at the same one, I might say, oh yeah, that's pretty good. And you might go, oh no, that's amazing. And so it's so ticky-tacky there that I can't really rank them like 10, 9, 8, 7. So these are in no particular order. But these are the 15 best golf balls I've seen when it comes to accuracy and dispersion by far. Let's go ahead and dive right in. Now, the clubs I use to conduct these tests throughout the year have been the Adams Idea set of irons, as well as the Adams Idea driver. Now owned by TaylorMade, Adams has some really good technology packed in there. And when it comes to the launch monitor, I've been using the Flight Scope Mevo. Let's dive in. All right, I'm going to start you off with one of my favorites, not just because of how it tested or how it's been or the community feedback, but because recently I went out and done a testing on the course with it and was just absolutely blown away, and that is the Wilson Triad. When it comes to the Wilson Triad, here it is. I'm going to show you the dispersion chart. This is, why so many people have fallen in love with this ball. They changed it up this year from last year. They made it more softer. They made it a little less on the distance side, but more on the consistency and forgiveness side. So, the previous model of the Triad was very firm and clicky. The problem was it was too close to the Wilson staff. And so a lot of people were just buying the Triad because it was such an amazing golf ball, and no one was buying the staff anymore because there really wasn't too much of a difference, right? And that's true. If you actually go back and look at my testing numbers, that actually checks up pretty well. So then what Wilson did this year was they were like, okay, we got to separate them. So they took the Triad, they made it more softer, more like a value tour ball. And listen, some people didn't like that. I get it, because if you were a faster swinger, you probably liked the ball speed you got from the old model. But this new model, for guys like me who are still trying to keep everything in the fairway, as far as, I'm an 8 handicap, I'm trying to work lower. There's a lot of you who I know are 12, 13, and you're trying to just keep it out of bounds. You're trying to hit more greens, hit more fairways. That's what this golf ball does extremely well, and I'm glad they changed it. Next up is a fan favorite of fast swingers. That is the Callaway Warbird Distance Plus. Now, in the past, I haven't been a huge fan of this golf ball, but however, this year, they came out with a new model, and I gotta say, it's actually pretty decent. I mean, I still think it's for a fast swinger. I don't think I'm quite fast enough to be able to get the most out of it on the course. But what I love about the Warbird is there's a lot of people who have a really fast swing speed who still need a 2-piece forgiving golf ball that can keep it in the fairway. And there hasn't been a lot of options for that. There's tons of soft golf balls, super soft, soft feel, all that stuff for slower swingers, but there hasn't been for faster swingers. Well, the Warbird's always been a great example of that, and it's kind of a fan favorite. It has a cult following. A lot of you in the comments really, really love the Warbird, and I can see why. It finds the fairway. It is for faster swingers, like I said. Solid distance this year, solid numbers. I'm impressed. It's actually a really solid golf ball, especially for the price. I think you can get them for, like $17.50 to $20 a dozen, depending on if you do the 2-for deal. It's a great value. Next up, we have the Trust Aurora, and this is a golf ball which is hilarious. I keep saying that I wouldn't ever play it because I don't know. I'm not sure why, but I've said that yesterday when I did the spin results, and anyway. But no, it's a pretty darn good golf ball, obviously. The accuracy here, if you look at the dispersion chart, it's great. As far as distance control, maybe not perfect on distance control, but when it comes to accuracy, it's really impressive. Everything right there is exactly where you'd want it to be. This golf ball checks up a ton around the green. It has great spin numbers. It was in the spin list yesterday. Has that crystal urethane coating. It's a solid golf ball, and maybe I underestimated it a little bit because now it's been on both lists, so we'll have to see how the award season goes. Maybe I need to take another look at it. it. Next up, we have the Snyder Soft, and it's so interesting. You know, this is the one golf ball that did not get mentioned out of the Snyder lineup in the spin results yesterday, where I did 50-yard spin and pitching wedge spin test, because Snyder dominates the spin. But there's one golf ball from Snyder that, although it does spin a ton, it's the soft two-piece model that only spins above average, not, you know, top 10. But now it's here for accuracy, and that's just hilarious to me. So Snyder's had a really good year. If you haven't seen them, definitely check that out, because I just keep mentioning their name. But yeah, Snyder Soft, great golf ball. Here's the dispersion chart. As you can see, again, easy to find the fairway. And what's really cool about the Snyder Soft is it's a two-piece model that might cost a little more than other two-piece golf balls, but the green side checkup and the dimple pattern allows the golf ball to get really high in the air. And those are two really important factors of this golf ball that I think separate it from a lot of these others in the bunch. Next up is the Volvic Vimat. Now, I tested a lot of Volvic golf balls. They had like 15 or 16 models, and I'm still trying to work through all of them. I think I've tested 13 or 14 so far, so I'm finally on the final track, but goodness. The Vimat, though, is a matte golf ball. It's a matte finish, bright colors, really good for fall, really good for, you know, slower swingers. But you know what? It has some really good consistency and has really good accuracy. Check out the dispersion chart. It looks great. Again, I think this golf ball may be for the higher handicaps, but if you're someone who needs to get the ball in play and keep it there and just play some fun golf and not have to worry about, you know, your ball bending left and right and just having good, solid consistency, the Vimat does really well at that. I got to give it credit. All right, this next one here I really love a lot because it's been such a big surprise for me this year, and that is the MaxFly Tri-Fly. This golf ball sits right in the middle of MaxFly's lineup. When we look at it, as you can see, you know, you have the soft fly, you have the straight fly, then you have the Tri-Fly, and then you have the Tour series. And so it kind of gets overlooked sometimes because it's in there. It is a three-piece, it's not urethane, and it's very, very soft. So this is for someone who kind of, let's say you play a soft fly, and you want to upgrade, but you're not quite ready for those really advanced MaxFly Tour balls, because they're very bendable, they're very advanced. I mean, we got guys winning on tour with them, so that's for sure. But you're not quite there, and so you want to upgrade. Well, this is where the Tri-Fly comes in. Very soft, forgiving, and as you can see from the dispersion and accuracy chart here, very solid, very good. If you want to find more fairways, if you want to be more consistent, if you want to hit more greens, this is a golf ball that still will allow you to do that, but give you a little bit more green side checkup with that added layer in there. Next up, this one right here, the Speed Soft Ink, specifically the ink. Yes, there's a difference. If you haven't seen the review we did, I highly recommend checking it out. We reviewed the yellow model versus the white model versus the ink model, because the ink and the white come out of different factories. Two totally separate golf balls. And when it comes to the ink, you're going to lose some distance. I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you. You're going to lose some distance for sure. However, what you're going to gain is the best driver dispersion chart I've ever seen. If you look at this, I mean, the farthest right ball and the farthest left ball are like 5 yards away from each other. It doesn't get any better than that. That is by far the best I have seen this year. It's the best I've ever seen in my life. Now listen, I understand there's a human element in there. I get it. I understand that, you know, hey Nick, you might have had a really good day. This was the easiest driver test I've ever done. I flat out was just putting the ball down, hitting it. I'd look back straight. I had so much confidence because it was so easy to hit. By the time it was done, I was like, I still have time. I went and enjoyed a coffee. I mean, I had so much time because the review took half the time it should have. Yeah, I love it. Sorry, I could sit here and talk about it all day. Next up, this one's a recent one, and that is the Hanma D1. You know, I just recently got done testing these golf balls. I did, you know, the Hanma Tour series as well as, you know, this two-piece distance golf ball they had. And I was pleasantly surprised because, one, the golf ball tested pretty well. It was solid. Didn't really care for the feel, but that's a personal thing. You might like it. But when it comes to accuracy and, you know, forgiveness and all that good stuff, here's the chart. It looks fantastic when you look at that. Very solid performance overall. And then what I was also surprised about was how much user feedback came in after I did that review and said, oh yeah, I gamed the D1s. I was really surprised. I haven't heard a negative thing about them yet. So kind of an underground sleeper golf ball, which is one of my favorites on the channel. That's why I try to test every single golf ball I can, because there's nothing better than finding that underground sleeper hit that really gives you an edge on the course. You know, give you a conversation piece. You put it down and your friends are like, what are you playing? You know, it's the best. Some of you guys know it's the best feeling in the world. You're like, oh, it's the Hanma D1. Yeah, no, this is a short course. I needed some accuracy and I don't want to bore you. Good feeling. Next up, we have the Bridgestone Electron. And you might be saying to yourself, Electron, what in the world? There's Tour B, there's E6, there's E12. I mean, Nick, what Electron? Look, the Electron is designed to be a junior golf ball, and I was so pleasantly surprised by it this year. Really bouncy type feel, easy to hit, explosive distance. Guys, it's going to be high on the top 100. It really is. I don't know how high, maybe top 30, top 20, something. I don't know.
Now, where this dispersion chart differs from the other ones we've seen is this might be the worst of the top 15 when it comes to driver dispersion. 8 out of 10 are in the fairway, but it's not the best like some of the other ones. Where the Bridgestone Electron makes its money is if you look at the 7 iron, from top to bottom, those squares represent 5 yards of distance. So when you look at 8 out of 10 on the 7 iron, which is the yellow circle, those balls are only 4 yards apart. So the furthest left and the furthest right on 8 out of 10 of them are only 4 yards difference. If that's not the best 7 iron I've seen, it is pretty darn close to it. Then if we look at pitching wedge, it's the same thing. You've got 3 that are kind of pulls, 1 heavy pull, but the other 2 are very minor pulls. But if you take 7 out of 10, they're all within 3 yards of each other. And that again, so when you're talking short irons, mid irons, you know, with the pitching wedge or with the 50-yard pitch, excuse me, it looks like distance control was hard, but accuracy was great. That's where the money's really being made here.
The next is a huge fan favorite on the channel, and that is the Precept Laddie Extreme. If you're still late to the party on this, and you might be new to the channel, and that's fine. Listen, this golf ball is an incredible 2-piece golf ball because it's $1 a golf ball. It's made by Bridgestone. They haven't changed the design. It has a really cool history. I could go on forever. I mean, this is a fan favorite. A lot of people play this golf ball. There's a lot of people who watch this channel who tried this golf ball 4 years ago when I first tested it, and they haven't changed since. They just watch the channel for fun at this point. And there's a lot of people who do that. I get emails and comments all the time about it. So it's a great golf ball. Here's a dispersion chart. As you can see, I mean, just really, really good. I mean, it's just, it's $1 a golf ball. What are you going to lose? Next up, we have the Wilson Zip. And this is a golf ball that unfortunately has gone through some ups and downs. You know, I tested it 4 years ago, you know, different clubs, different launch monitor, different me, you know, 4 years ago. A lot can change in 4 years. And at the time, I'd only tested 20 golf balls, and it was at the top of those 20 golf balls. Now that we've tested, you know, 250 over the last 5 years, it's kind of fallen. And I did a retest this year with it, you know, with the Mevo Plus that we got. I did a retest with the Adams Idea irons, and it just didn't do that well. But one thing it does do extremely well. You may lose distance, you may not get a ton of spin around the green, you may not, but your ball's going to be in the fairway. I mean, if you look at this chart, your ball is going to be in the fairway. It's going to be consistent. You know, if you can learn to use this golf ball properly, especially if you're a slower swinger, I think there's a lot of potential here. I think if you're someone who's like shooting just over 100 or even maybe like just over 90 and you're trying to break that to get to 89 or break that to get to 99, I think a golf ball like this really could help you because, yeah, you lose the distance, but, you know, sometimes people play on shorter courses. You know, I play a lot of courses where they're only 6,000 yards long, you know, tighter residential, and so a golf ball like this would be really good for that, especially for, I think, you know, 85 mile an hour and lower, but it's definitely accurate. There's no question about that. Next up is another fan favorite from this year. That is the Srixon Ulti-Speed. This thing came out of nowhere. It replaced a golf ball that I actually really didn't care for. I know some of you really liked it, just the regular Q-Star, but I never really cared for it that much. And so when this was a replacement for that, I thought, well, okay, sure, let's give it a shot. Fantastic. Going to be one of the best golf balls of the year. Not going to sugarcoat that. It's fantastic. Everyone loves it. A lot of you have played it on the course, and yeah, you're still playing it on the course. This golf ball has incredible accuracy, incredible consistency, explosive off the club, really good distance. Another ball that I recently took to the course and did a test on, and it's money. You know what I mean? The amount of confidence after, you know, real quick, I don't want to give too much away, but the previous ball that I had tested, because we were doing multiple balls in the testing, was a tour ball, and I was bending it left and right. I wasn't having a good day, and I had no confidence. I had zero confidence, and I was like, dang it, man, I cannot stay in, because a tighter residential course, I'm like, I can't stay in bound. Thank God the trees are there. They're keeping me in play. And then I switched to the Ulti-Speed. Night and day. Night and day. Started hitting the greens, loved the feel, the explosiveness, the confidence went up. Next thing you know, I got birdie looks. It was a complete 180, and sometimes that's what golf balls like this can do for you, and it did it for me last weekend. So, yeah, good stuff. Next up, we have the TaylorMade Distance Plus. This is one I most recently tested. This is another model that got a revamp for 2025. It has an excellent alignment tool, has some high-vis colors. It's affordable at around $17.50 to $20 a dozen in there somewhere, depending on if you do the 2 for deal or not. A lot of you really like it. A lot of you requested this golf ball, and it's solid. It really is. I think it's a medium compression because there's golf balls like the Warbird that's for faster swingers, it's a 2-piece. And then there's golf balls like the Speed Soft that might be for your slower to mid. This one's balanced. It's right in the middle. You can use it if you're a mid swinger. You can use it if you're a little bit of a slow swinger. You can use it if you're a little bit of a fast swinger. It kind of covers a broad, variety of swing speeds, but it's also accurate and really consistent. Next up is the Vice Pro Junior. And, look, out of all the Vice golf balls, I'll be completely honest with you, this one's my least favorite. I didn't care for the distance. I didn't care for the performance. I think it's overpriced. Not my cup of tea. I think there's a lot of negatives here. However, this video is accuracy and dispersion and, fairway finders. That's like the one thing this golf ball did well. So here's the chart. As you can see, very good. But don't expect this golf ball to do very good in the top 100. In fact, you'll probably see it sooner than later, meaning that it's at the bottom when we do like 100 through 90. I might not be that bad, but I mean, it's going to be at that end of the list for sure. All right, and last but definitely not least, we have a golf ball that is one of the biggest surprises on the channel of all time. You all love it. A lot of you play it. A lot of you are scared it's going to get discontinued. That's the Wilson Boost. Under $10 a dozen at Walmart. So surprising. Incredible driver numbers, incredible accuracy, incredible forgiveness for being kind of a medium, firmer ball. I don't know what to say with this golf ball. It's just so amazing how, and that's why I love the channel. I mean, seriously, that's why this channel is so cool, because we test every golf ball we can. And yeah, you're going to get a lot of stinkers. You're going to get a lot of golf balls where you're like, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. But then when you find that diamond in the rough like this one, like the Wilson Boost, it makes all of it worth it. I don't know if they're going to discontinue it or not. I really hope they don't. I took this golf ball to the course last weekend again. We started out with it. What I noticed was extremely high launch, not in a bad way, but like it's crazy. If you have trouble getting the ball up in the air, the Boost has to be one of the first golf balls you try because it really gets high in the air. The other thing is that driver performance, it's a rocket launcher. It absolutely explodes off the club, and not only does it explode off the club, it stays in the fairway, as you can see from the dispersion chart here. Yeah, really, really good stuff. I love finding golf balls like that. I know a lot of you really like the Boost. I hope you enjoyed this video. That is 15 golf balls that were the best this year at finding the fairway or finding the green or just finding whatever you're aiming at. If you're aiming at a house, it'll hit it. Anyway, guys, as always, thank you so much. If you're new to the channel here, we'd love to have you subscribe. We do in-depth golf ball reviews. If you want to support this channel further, we have a membership, just starts at $1 a month, helps me do these lists, helps me do all this good stuff. All the data, remember, is going to be released for free at the end of the top 100, which is coming up very soon too. I'll see you soon.